Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Professor Yael Hellman, and it's my pleasure to MC this plenary showcasing Hebrew University's academic achievements as part of the 2023 Boards of Governors. I would like to extend a special welcome to the President of the Hebrew University, Professor Cohen, to the Rector of the University, Professor Tamir Shefer, and to the Vice President for Research and Development, Professor Aharon Palmon. Distinguished donors, family members, scholars, researchers, lecturers, and dear guests, welcome. I'm excited to be here today and share with you the cutting-edge research that's currently taking place at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. We live in very challenging times. We continually aspire for progress and creativity in order to provide the needs for current generations. However, we must acknowledge our limited resources not to compromise the needs of future generations. The concept of sustainability and the voices calling for more sustainable practices are increasingly gaining traction, claiming their rightful place at the forefront of the public's discourse. It seems that every study, every new development, and every creative innovation takes into account one aspect or another of creating a more sustainable environment. One such example is the food tech industry, which in recent years has grown leaps and bounds, working hard to decrease harm to animals while still increasing yields. The biotech industry has also grown tremendously as it attempts to decrease damage and pollution to our natural resources. We, as academic scientists, are privileged to conduct research, but we should tread thoughtfully, as this carries a significant responsibility. We must be considerate of our planet, recognizing the reasonable boundaries that exist, all the while showing reverence for our environment and our own well-being. I am honored to call upon Professor Aharon Palmon, Hebrew University's Vice President for Research and Development, to open this ceremony. He will share with us recent development, major achievements, and new research directions.
Thank you, Professor Hellman, and welcome to the Research and Development Report. During our last International Executive Committee, I presented a vision for the Research and Development Authority to create an outstanding supportive environment for Hebrew University researchers, broadly enabling leading research advances. Today I will ask, are we effective? And try to supply evidence to support this vision. In this slide, we can see the percentile research budget distribution among the different universities in Israel along the last 5 years. This table is based on 3 parameters: grants, research publications, and number of research students. As we can all see in the last 3 years, namely 21, 22, and 23, the Hebrew University received the highest amount of budget in the Israeli higher education system. Narrowing the scope to research grants managed by the Authority for Research and Development in 2022 shows that our researchers had $204 million to operate. This money was mainly received from Israeli agencies in the green color, and about 40% were received or invested from outside Israel, mainly from European awards and other international agencies. The main research agency in Israel is the Israeli Science Foundation. In 2022, Hebrew University, as well colored in blue, as well as Tel Aviv University, received the highest amount of budget. A second major source is the European awards. Comparing our achievements in 21 and 22 show a dramatic increase from 26 to 37 million euros. This could be attributed to our starting and mid-career researchers demonstrating their high quality. A third resource of money is from international sources like the US-Israel Binational Science Foundation, and here again I show the distribution between the universities in Israel. The Hebrew University is on your left, and as you can see, the Hebrew University leads this graph. Our researchers received money not only from traditional grant agencies, but they invented new ideas with industrial impact. Yisum, our TTO, Tech Transfer Office, is responsible to bridge Hebrew University innovators with the industry. In 2022, 68 license agreements were signed, more than 100 sponsor research were signed, 63 patents were filed, and 9 new spin-off companies were formed. Looking on these companies, we can see that 4 of these companies were focused on food tech, and the other 4 were focused on health tech, demonstrating the directions we are going. Just as a reminder, Yisum is the oldest TTO in Israel, which filed more than 11,000 patents, signed more than 1,000 license agreements, and established about 250 companies. So until now, I described research achievements by numbers. And the next obvious questions is what are our new directions? Where are we going? So in the next slides, I will talk about new research fields and the initiative that you already heard about the modernization of our core infrastructure. In 2022, the Israeli National Council for Civilian Research and Development suggested to focus on 7 new research fields. And I will try to describe them. The first one is bioconvergence, which I will elaborate a bit later. Food tech, as you heard, we already established recently a new center for that, led by Professor Benny Hefetz. Sea resources, renewable and stored energy, which is under the Sustainability Center. Quantum, which we have a center led by Professor Michael Ben-Or, and artificial intelligence, where we are studying more big data under a center led by Professor Daphna Shachaf. So if we compare these new ideas, where to put our focus and what is done at the Hebrew University, we can find already a good fit for these. So what is bioconvergence? Bioconvergence is an emerging field that combines 2 categories, software engineering in one hand and biology and medicine on the other hand. As in Israel, we have many experts in software engineering and in biology and medicine, it represents an edge over other countries and may lead to economic development, a new arena for the startup nation. To understand bioconvergence potential in the Hebrew University, I will give you 3 amazing samples of research collaborations led by Hebrew University faculty. I will do so by answering the following WH question: who and where, what, why, and how. The first project, amazing project, is a collaboration between Professor Tommy Kaplan from the computer science, Professors Yuval Dor, Ruti Shemer from the Faculty of Medicine, and Professor Ben Glaser, a physician from Hadassah Medical Center. What did they invented? They developed a methodology to identify the tissue origin of DNA fragments released from dying cells and circulating in the blood. Why is it important? Identification of cell damage origin in unexplained medical condition may facilitate proper treatment. For instance, in patients with colon cancer that metastasize to the liver, we expect to find DNA fragments from both intestinal cells and liver cells, and thus it will direct our treatment. How did they do it? They created a DNA cell atlas to compare unknown DNA samples with. So amazing, published in Nature. A second project was conducted by Professor Rotem Karni from the Faculty of Medicine with the aid of computer scientists and physicians from other institutions. What did they find? They reported that changes in the processing of RNA molecules and not genetic changes in the DNA drive pancreatic tumors to become metastatic. Specifically, they found that depletion of a protein RBFOX2 that you can see there in primer pancreatic tumor cells increased their metastatic potential, and its overexpression reduced metastatic potential. Why is it important? Pancreatic cancer is characterized by aggressive local invasion and metastatic spread, leading to high lethality. Understanding the mechanism of metastasis process will enable new drug therapy that overcome RBFOX2 malfunction. So this groundbreaking research was again published in Nature. A third collaboration was conducted between Professor Ronen Chazan from the Faculty of Dental Medicine and Professor Ran Nirpas from Hadassah Medical Center. What did they find? Phages are viruses of bacteria and can kill them. They demonstrated a combined treatment of specific phage and antibiotics to cure antibiotic-resistant acne infection. Why is it important? Alexander Fleming discovered the antibiotic penicillin in 1928 that saved life of millions afterwards. However, emergence of antibiotic resistance pathogens become a global crisis. By 2050, if this trend continues, it is expected that it will be the #1 reason of medical death. Therefore, new methods to overcome antibiotic resistance bacteria is critical. So now Ronen and Professor Nirpas want to establish the first Israeli phage therapy center to contribute to our community. And again, this study was published in Nature Communication. In the next part of this session, during the prize distribution and UG talks, we will hear many more interesting projects. To conduct such leading research, our researchers need advanced equipment. Accordingly, as you already heard, President Cohen opened an initiative to modernize our core research infrastructure. And the reasons for that are that it requires heavy investment, it enables cutting-edge research, it facilitates collaboration between researchers, it attracts talented researchers, and it provides training opportunities. Currently, we have 20 core facilities with more than 300 instruments. However, in 2022, the management allocated 50 million shekel for more advanced instruments. Just as a taste for the cost, here are 5 projects, and even without understanding what are these pieces of equipment, we can see their cost, and the average cost is about $3.5 million, not so little. Toward the end of my talk, I would like to acknowledge the people, the administration people from the Research and Development Authority that helps us so much to succeed in our research. These are 50 people that works day and night to help us in submitting, conducting and reporting about our grants. And last, I would like to summarize that the Hebrew University is the leading research university in Israel and worldwide appreciated. We can be proud of our groundbreaking research that has a global impact. And thank you all for being part of this wonderful and successful journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Palmon, for sharing these really amazing achievements. And now for this annual ceremony where we honor our outstanding researchers with prestigious prizes. As we read out names, will each researcher please come to the podium to receive their award and then gather for a group photo with the presenters. The first prizes being awarded today are the Kaye Innovation Awards. Unfortunately, Mr. Kaye was unable to be with us today, so I invite Mr. Nigel Solomon to congratulate the recipients on Mr. Kaye's behalf.
Good afternoon, university leadership, dear friends, distinguished guests, and above all prize winners. You know, these short speeches usually start with, I'm very proud to be here, I'm honored to be here, it's a great pleasure to be here, but I have to say none of those apply to me today because I, and I'm sure you would much prefer that Isaac and Myrna themselves were here, but I'm very proud that I've been asked on their behalf to say a few words, and I mean it, it will be a few words. So 3 numbers, 98, 86, and 29. 98 years of the university, 86 years of the Board of Governors, and this is the 29th year, amazingly, of the Kaye Innovation Awards. The family connection with the Hebrew University dates back 3 generations to South Africa and then to London. And during this period, the family, like all of us, have witnessed extraordinary developments at this university, and I'm sure, as Asher referred to earlier, our founders couldn't in their wildest dreams have imagined that we'd be sitting here today undertaking this ceremony. The goal of Isaac in the Innovation Awards and the K. Einstein Fellowships, these reflect the family's deep connection to innovation and to investing in terrific and great minds, researchers and students. And to do so, they do this across a full range of science and medical science disciplines, in some cases, as we know, leading to very successful and fruitful commercialization and to securing coveted international grants and awards. This year's range of prize winners cover a very broad spectrum, and I'm sure you'll recognize when you hear from them later just how truly innovative and translational is their research. This year, the clutch covers areas such as the synthetic biology platforms for biomedical and biotech application, animal-free culture of milk and breast milk, high-performance polymer-based composite materials, using AI diagnostic models identifying drug targets for ASD, inhibiting mRNA degradation in genetic diseases and cancer, and the Israel Phage Bank. Myrna and Isaac continue to be inspired by Einstein's vision, a vision that this university would be a center of excellence, that knowledge and science would be shared for the benefit of humankind, and that it would be done so in an environment free of discrimination and prejudice. But I think above all, the family would say 2 things. They encourage others to join them in their endeavor, and perhaps more importantly, in this theme of sustainability, that the purpose of what they do is about the sustainability of the Hebrew University. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. I would like to invite the President of the Hebrew University, Professor Cohen, the Vice President for Research and Development, Professor Aharon Palmon, and Dr. Itzik Goldwasser, CEO of Yesum. I would like to invite our 6 recipients to the stage to receive their award and take a group photograph. Dr. Lior Nissim, first prize researcher. Professor Nurit Argov-Argaman, first prize researcher. Dr. Haitam Amal, second prize researcher. Professor Ro'i Yerushalmi, second prize researcher. Miss Adi Amar Schwartz, first prize student. Miss Ortal Yerushalmi, second prize student. Thank you very much and congratulations to our distinguished recipients. Please take your seats. Our next awards are the Polonsky Prizes for Creativity and Originality in the Humanistic discipline. I'm honored to invite Professor Mare Nihev to share her remarks.
It is a great honor for me to speak on behalf of Mr. Mark Polonsky. And I will start with Flavius Josephus, the Jewish historian whom I hope you all know. Flavius Josephus, to whom we actually owe all we know about Second Temple Judaism, could not have written his voluminous works without his patron, a certain Epaphroditus, about whom we know nothing except that Josephus very heartily thanks him. And he says the following about him. However, there were certain persons curious about the history, the Jewish history, after the great revolt against Rome, who urged me to pursue it, and above all, Epaphroditus, a man devoted to every form of learning, but especially interested in history, conversant as he himself has been with large affairs in various turns of fortune, through all of which he has displayed a wonderful force of character and attachment to virtue that nothing could deflect. Yielding then to the persuasions of one who is ever an enthusiastic supporter of persons with ability to produce some useful and beautiful work, and ashamed of myself that I should be thought to prefer sloth to the effort of the noblest of enterprises, I was encouraged to greater ardor. Josephus's words of gratitude to his patron Epaphroditus apply also to Dr. Leonard Polonsky, who established the Polonsky Foundation in 1985, and to his son, Mr. Mark Polonsky, a prominent trustee of the foundation whom I had the great honor and pleasure of meeting, first during the two prize ceremonies, when I myself was awarded for two different books, the Polonsky Prize, and most recently as a member of the postdoctoral fellowships at the Polonsky Academy. Both Leonard and Mark are true intellectuals with an impressive academic record in the humanities, especially in diverse fields of world literature. Mark himself is fluent in Russian and supports, among other things, the Pushkin Center in London. At the Hebrew University, the Polonsky Foundation supports academic research in the humanities on the basis of personal immersion in research in the different cultural realms, languages, and centers of learning. Apart from their real paideia, their real education and enthusiasm for anything cultural and intellectual, the Polonsky Foundation shares another aspect with Epaphroditus, namely a deep concern for community and collaboration in the process of researching and writing. Scholars of Josephus have shown that his patron supported his work, among other things, by creating a platform for discussing work in progress. We speak of the intellectual salons in ancient Rome in the private homes, such as Epaphroditus, where scholarly work in progress was shared. And Josephus apparently participated in such salons and actually produced his work while discussing it with others. The Polonsky Foundation, too, is invested in creating excellent academic communities in the humanities. Its prize for creativity and originality in the humanities initiates once a year a meeting of the leading faculty members who convene to discuss the new publications in the faculty. A platform has just been created for intellectual exchange, which encourages excellence and innovation beyond the usual boundaries, and ranging from MA and doctoral students to young and established researchers. We are proud of the trust of the Polonsky Foundation and eager to promote the highest level of research in the humanities, which nowadays require more support than ever before. The postdoctoral fellowships at the Polonsky Academy pursue similar objectives, creating vibrant academic communities. And finally, Josephus's patron Epaphroditus was most likely not Jewish, but pagan. He probably belonged to the group of Roman intellectuals who cherished a genuine and deep interest in Judaism, even after the great Jewish revolt, which caused many casualties on the Roman side. Josephus's work on Jewish history in the Roman Empire was embedded in broader cultural discourses in the capital. To speak with the language of Oren Shagrir and the International Office of the Hebrew University, Josephus fulfilled the requirements of interdisciplinarity and international visibility. The Polonsky Foundation plays a similar role in this respect too. Committed to academic excellence carried out by the very best, irrespective of religion, color, or gender, it accelerates research in the Faculty of Humanities, and among others also integrates Jewish studies, which has often been for many years studied in splendid isolation among the general disciplines and the methods of the humanities. The researchers and the students whom we honor today reflect this interdisciplinary approach. And I'm very proud and excited that this year's awardees cover Jewish-Christian relations, Jewish and Greek exegesis, Saudi Arabian history, Sumerian prayer, and musicology. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Neal. I would like to invite again President Cohen and Vice President Palmon. I am honored to call upon the recipients of the 2023 Polonsky Prizes for Creativity and Originality in the Humanistic Discipline. Dr. Karma Ben Yochanan, First Prize Researcher. Dr. Yakir Paz, Second Prize Researcher. Dr. Nora Derbal, Postdoctoral Researcher. Mr. Ami Asayag, PhD student. Mr. Yakir Ariel, PhD student. Thank you, Professor Neof, and congratulations to our recipients for their accomplishments. Our next prize is the Klachky Prize for Advancement of the Frontiers of Sciences. Unfortunately, Mr. Klachky was unable to participate, and it's my honor to call upon Professor Limor Schiffman to receive the prize. I would also like to invite again President Cohen and Vice President Aharon Palmon to present the prize. Exercises are good. Congratulations, Professor Rimor. Thank you very much. And now, you know what, you can stay here. And now, actually, I think you should sit down because I would like to hear Mr. Sidney Brookes. So, and now for the André Cohen Deloro Award for Scientific Excellence in Medicine. I'm honored to invite Mr. Sidney Brookes to come to the podium and address the audience on behalf of the late André Cohen Deloro.
Bonjour, chers membres du conseil d'administration et chers amis de l'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem. C'est un honneur de représenter la Fondation Adélis pour la première cérémonie de remise du prix André Cohen Deloro. Permettez-moi de vous dire quelques mots sur cette fondation et son créateur.
Dear members of the Board of Governors and dear friends of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, it is an honor to represent the Adélis Foundation at the first André Cohen Deloro Award ceremony. Allow me first to say a few words about this foundation and its founder.
Diplômé des plus grandes écoles françaises et de l'école polytechnique et de l'école des ponts et chaussées, André Cohen Deloro fait une brillante carrière dans la construction pour des compagnies internationales. Après un parcours professionnel hors du commun, à la mémoire de ses parents, il souhaite réaliser le vœu de sa maman et il décide de créer la fondation Adélis, dont l'acronyme est de A pour André, Del pour Deloro et Is pour Israël, avec pour objectif de contribuer au bien-être et à la sécurité de l'État d'Israël.
A graduate of France's most prestigious grandes écoles, École Polytechnique and École des Ponts et Chaussées, André Cohen Deloro enjoyed a brilliant career in construction for international companies. After an extraordinary career, in memory of his parents, he decided to carry out his mother's wish and set up the Adélis Foundation, whose acronym stands for A for André, Del for Deloro, and Is for Israel, with the aim of contributing to the well-being and security of the State of Israel.
Je voudrais rajouter quelque chose. Monsieur Deloro, Monsieur André Cohen Deloro n'étant pas né d'une famille riche, mais nous avons fait ça, il a fait ça pour justement donner l'exemple à ceux qui vont faire fortune de ce qu'ils doivent faire dans l'avenir.
I would like to add that Mr. Deloro wasn't born in a wealthy family, and he did what he did to serve as an example for people who were more fortunate than him, to tell them what they should do in the future.
Renouant ainsi avec ses racines, né en Égypte et lui-même grand bâtisseur, et ce n'était pas des pyramides, il a la vision d'un État d'Israël fort grâce à l'excellence de ses universités et de ses centres de recherche.
Born in Egypt and himself a great builder, although not of pyramids, André Deloro reconnected with his roots and envisioned the State of Israel becoming a stronger nation through the excellence of its universities and research centers.
Il n'avait pas tort.
In that, he wasn't wrong.
Aujourd'hui, Israël est une nation plus forte et plus puissante grâce à son capital humain exceptionnel et à ses centres de recherche que le monde nous envie. Nous sommes observés par de nombreux investisseurs dans toutes les parties du monde. Nos innovations sont analysées de peur de passer à côté d'une licorne.
Today, if Israel is a stronger, more powerful nation, it is owing to its exceptional human capital and research centers, which are the envy of the world. Many investors from all over the world watch Israel closely and scrutinize our innovation, lest they miss out on a unicorn.
Pour que tout cela soit possible, il faut des moyens importants et donc que des fondations philanthropiques soutiennent la recherche et qu'elles puissent accompagner les universités et les centres de recherche en leur donnant des moyens supplémentaires.
To make all this possible, we need substantial resources, and therefore we need philanthropic foundations to support research and foster universities and research centers by providing more funding.
La Fondation Adélis soutient la recherche scientifique et médicale d'excellence à hauteur de 65% de son budget, à hauteur de 25% pour l'éducation, principalement dans la périphérie géographique et sociale, et à hauteur de 10% dans le bien-être social.
65% of the Adélis Foundation's budget supports excellence in scientific and medical research. 25% goes to education, mainly in the geographical and social periphery, and 10% to social welfare.
L'Université hébraïque de Jérusalem est un fleuron dans la mémoire et dans l'histoire du judaïsme et par la suite du sionisme. Ce sont pour toutes ces raisons que nous participons et soutenons la construction du nouveau bâtiment de médecine computationnelle.
The Hebrew University of Jerusalem is a gem and a milestone in our people's memory in the history of Judaism and Zionism. It is for all these reasons that we are participating in and supporting the construction of the new computational medicine building.
Ces chercheurs réunis agiront ensemble pour découvrir de nouveaux traitements médicaux qui, grâce à l'exploitation de nombreuses bases de données, ouvriront la porte à la médecine personnalisée afin de combattre les maladies et améliorer la qualité et la durée de vie. Nous pourrons ainsi vivre jusqu'à 120 ans, comme c'est écrit.
Gathered on one site, these researchers will work together to discover new medical treatments, which, thanks to the data mining of numerous databases, will open the door to personalized medicine to fight disease and improve the quality and length of our lives, so that we can live up to 120 years, as it is written in our tradition.
Aujourd'hui, la Fondation Adélis est heureuse et fière d'honorer par ses prix deux grands professeurs et chercheurs. Le professeur Nir Friedman, lauréat du prix 2022, traite des questions fondamentales sur la biologie computationnelle et la biologie des systèmes qui contribueront à de nombreuses applications telles que le diagnostic des maladies, la surveillance de leur évolution et la prédiction de l'efficacité des traitements, grâce à la formule magique d'analyse des datas, de la biologie et de l'informatique aidée de l'IA. Il nous fait faire un saut dans le futur.
Today, the Adélis Foundation is pleased and proud to honor with these awards two great professors and researchers. Professor Nir Friedman, winner of the 2022 prize, addresses fundamental questions in computational and systems biology, which will contribute to numerous applications such as diagnosing diseases, monitoring their evolution, and predicting the effectiveness of treatments. Its magic formula of data analysis, biology, and computer science, aided by AI, takes us a leap into the future.
Le professeur Yuval Dor, lauréat du prix 2023, concentre son intérêt sur la dynamique des tissus. Il réussit à faire croiser des bases de données des établissements de santé avec les banques de tissus, particulièrement dans le comportement du cancer du pancréas et bien sûr du diabète, qui est la maladie du siècle, obtenant ainsi des résultats remarquables.
Professor Yuval Dor, winner of the 2023 prize, focuses on his interest on tissue dynamics, successfully cross-referencing healthcare databases with tissue banks, particularly in the behavior of pancreatic cancer and, of course, diabetes, which is the plague of this century, and is achieving remarkable results.
Je suis sûr qu'André Cohen Deloro aurait apprécié leur travail de recherche, non seulement à cause des maladies spécifiques concernées par ces recherches, mais aussi et surtout parce qu'il avait compris que seule une combinaison interdisciplinaire de recherche fondamentale et clinique pourrait fournir la compréhension nécessaire qui, in fine, conduira à la percée souhaitée.
I am convinced André Cohen Deloro would have appreciated their research work, not only because of the specific diseases involved, but above all because he understood that only an interdisciplinary combination of basic and clinical research can provide the necessary understanding that will ultimately lead to the desired breakthrough.
La Fondation Adélis est ravie de pouvoir soutenir le travail scientifique aussi remarquable que les professeurs Nir Friedman et Yuval Dor. Merci à tous. Am Israël Chai.
The Adelis Foundation is delighted to be able to support the work of such outstanding scientists as Professors Nir Friedman and Yuval Dor. Many thanks to all. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you very much. I'm now honored to call again President Cohen and Vice President Palmon. I'm honored to invite the 2023 recipient, Professor Yuval Dor, to come over and receive his award. Professor Dor will also receive the prize in the name of Professor Nir Friedman, the awardee of 2023, André Cohen, Deloro Prize. Thank you very much. Congratulations to our students. It is now time for the Prusiner-Abramsky Research Award in Clinical and Basic Neuroscience by the Orion Foundation and the Sir Zelman Cowen University Fund Prize for Discovery in Medical Research. I am honored to invite Mr. Michael Duncan to address our audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Zelman Cowen Academic Initiatives is a continuation of the Sir Zelman Cowen Universities Fund, which was set up in 1978 and which promoted joint research between the University of Sydney in Australia and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. In addition, it currently operates as an advisory group to the Education Heritage Foundation, which is an Australian foundation, and the directors of the Zelman Cowen Academic Initiatives provide recommendations for the allocation of research and scholarship funds in academic disciplines, both at the Hebrew University and Australian universities which interact with the Hebrew University. Before speaking about the awardee today, I would like to say a few words about the founder and benefactor of not only the Zelman Cowen Fund, but also the Education Heritage Foundation, which supports Australian Jewish charities as well, and the Orion Foundation, which has been supporting the university for many years. In fact, when we came back from lunch, you may have passed the building which has on it the Orion Centre for Computers, Computer Centre. I would like to speak of the late John Hammond, who has been a supporter of the university for many years. He was a somewhat eccentric man who passed away 25 years ago. Born in 1910, he came to Australia in 1937 from Hungary, having been unable to study at university in Hungary or later in France because of the official and unofficial Jewish quota. He was unable to take up study in Australia either because of his fairly poor English when he first arrived. So he went into business with his brother Albert, who joined him a year later. That business today is the largest property company in Australia. He made some important friends in his early years in Australia, one of whom was a man called Max Freilich, a leader of the Jewish community in Sydney and a good friend of the Foreign Minister of Australia, Dr. H.V. Evatt, at the time. Why is that of significance? Because Evatt was the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations in 1947 and was persuasively instrumental in the November resolution in favour of the establishment of the State of Israel. Freilich convinced Hammond that the young state depends upon highly educated and trained individuals to survive and to prosper. And the Hebrew University would enable this to occur. Hammond didn't need much convincing, having been rejected by the universities because he was a Jew. He believed that there should be support for a university of and for the Jewish people. He later even agreed to take on the task of Australian Friends, President of the Australian Friends, and in the process roped me in as well. In those years, he was greatly inspired by Abe Harmon, Bernard Cherrick, and Eliyahu Honig, all of whom visited Australia regularly. In his retirement, he was keen to oversee the work of researchers from different universities in Australia, but in each case they had to collaborate with a researcher at the Hebrew University. And so, ladies and gentlemen, for 2023, the awards committee chose Dr. Yaniv El-Kubi from the School of Medicine as the prize awardee. His prize is for the newly identified structure in developing egg and sperm cells, which leads to a better understanding of human infertility. I'm not going to try and explain it any further because I'll only confuse you and myself. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite the President of the Hebrew University, Professor Asher Cohen, the Vice President for Research and Development, Professor Aharon Palmon. I'm honored to invite the recipients to receive their awards. Dr. Abed Al-Fatah Mansour, Dr. Ari Breiner, Dr. Avi Metzer, Dr. Yaniv El-Kubi. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Thank you again for our donors, and congratulations to our distinguished award winners. Mazal tov to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the ceremony, showcasing Hebrew University's academic achievement and honoring our outstanding researchers. We hope you enjoyed sampling from the Hebrew University achievements. And thank you, each and every one of you who took part in this event. And a special thanks to our distinguished donors and remarkable recipients of the lectures. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope to see you again next year.